Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are working on these antique chairs with kind of a purple green. It looks kind of blue in the pictures, but it's a purple green, and I just think they are really ugly. I got them for free from my husband's aunt. She no longer wanted them, so I've got them, and even though I'm not a huge fan of the style, I'm not going to turn away anything that's for free when I can flip it and hopefully sell for a profit. Since these chairs are professionally upholstered, I'm definitely no professional upholsterist, if that's a word, I don't know. I can't just replace the fabric, so I am going to be painting it for the very first time. There is just a tiny bit of damage on the wood parts, but overall it's in pretty great shape, so I'm not really going to do anything to that, but I do want to tape off any spots that I don't want to get the paint on. Luckily with this wood, it's already sealed. The paint just comes off really easily with some water if I do end up getting some on there. While I'm busy taping up these chairs, I just wanted to thank you guys all for watching. I've officially hit 1,000 subscribers, so that is a huge milestone. I am so grateful for all of you. So thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing my content. So as I mentioned, I am going to be painting the fabric. I watched a few videos on YouTube and then just jumped right in. So I am using House and Canvas in River Rock. It's a light gray. And I just eyeballed how much paint and water I wanted. I had to add a little bit more water because it ended up just soaking up the paint like crazy. You want to make sure that you are using a decent amount of water. So I think a 3 parts water, 1 part paint is probably best, because if you use too much paint, it ends up getting really dry and crusty. You want to make sure that the paint is actually soaking in and staining the fabric, not just sitting on top, and because if it's sitting on top, it's going to end up getting all over your clothes, and that is not what we want. You can see with this fabric there is a little bit of a texture, just lines going straight, but overall it's a fairly smooth finish. So my very last stroke over the fabric was with the lines, so that way hopefully if there was any streaking, it would kind of get camouflaged with the lines of the fabric. I'm not totally sure if these chairs are even supposed to be together, because one looks a little bit different than the other. It's taller, the wood is a bit lighter. It just looks slightly different, but with the matching fabric, it kind of goes together. My husband's aunt, I believe, got them at an auction way back in the day. I'm not quite sure, so who knows where they got them and said, oh, these kind of look like they match, let's sell them together. I'm not sure, but here they are together now. After the first coat, I ended up doing a second coat a few hours later. It ended up soaking in so much that it almost looked like I didn't even do a first coat because it was so light and got so soaked into the fabric. So I ended up adding a little bit of House and Canvas shadow to the river rock to make the color a little bit darker, to go a little bit better with the dark wood tones of the chair. I probably could have just left it at the third coat with the darker color, but I just wanted to make sure that I was getting every single little bit of this fabric. So I did 4 coats total, but I barely used any paint. It actually didn't really take nearly as much paint as I thought, because it really gets mixed in with all that water to stain the fabric, not paint it. So I've been trying to reach the owners of the username Smalltown Flipper on Instagram for a while now, and I was finally able to reach them, and they amazingly gave me their username since they don't use the account. So if you want to follow me on there, it's now Smalltown Flipper. If you have a smooth fabric, you can sand in between coats. I didn't really find a need to sand between every coat, so after my third coat, I just decided to end up sanding it, just using a fine grit sanding sponge, and I'll link this in the description if you want to order that from Amazon. I use it all the time, so I'm just kind of getting off any little hairs or any little spots that are on the fabric, just to make sure my final finish is hair-free and lint-free. And then I'm just wiping back any dust that could have accumulated. There wasn't really anything that I could see, but just wiped it away just in case. And then I went ahead with an artist brush to make sure I got into every little area of the chair. And once I removed the tape, I did also have to touch up a few spots as well. It was so hard to get a good picture of what these chairs were going to look like until after the tape was removed. So then you've got that bright green kind of getting in the way. You don't really know what it's going to look like until that's gone, but I am happy with how they turned out. It's super smooth. You know, it looks so much better in my opinion, and I definitely wasn't thinking of my fashion sense at 9 o'clock at night when I decided to do this, as I'm wearing my cheetah slippers. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was just tired, ready for bed. Before I called it a night, I just took a paper towel with some water and cleaned up any little spots that ended up getting on the wood. The back of this one chair was definitely the hardest to tape up, so I figured there would be some spots I had to touch up. So again, I just used that artist brush and got in there as best as I could, and then cleaned off any mess that I made with that paper towel and water. This project really was super quick, but it just took me a little bit longer to get the video because my life has been super busy. But I let these chairs dry for a good week before I decided to wax them. Now, every video that I've seen on YouTube said that you don't have to, but if you have a smooth fabric and you really want a smoother finish, then waxing them is a good idea, and it also just seals in that paint as well. I did a total of 2 coats of wax just to make sure I got every little bit. You know, the first waxing, you don't always get every spot, and it's really hard to tell. You got a little bit of a different sheen, and it kind of darkened the color a little bit, but it was still really hard to see, so I just wanted to make sure I did 2 coats. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel for more furniture flipping. I don't wax things very often other than drawer slides because it is such a workout. I tell ya, I'll get some muscles doing this, but I don't really like waxing all that much, so I stick with my polyurethane. Once I was done waxing in between coats and I let it sit for probably about 15 minutes, I just wiped off any excess, which really there wasn't very much, but I just wanted to make sure that it soaked into the fabric and is not just sitting on top of it. So I just gave it a good wipe, and it feels really smooth. It feels so great. It's almost like fake leather, the texture that it got. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I would definitely do it again. Before I show you guys the final product, I just wanted to show you this canvas that Canvas and Decor sent me for free. They have canvases, they have wallpaper and home decor, so I'll link them in the description if you're interested in checking out their website. This is really well made. It came really well packaged as well, so I love this abstract art. And now let's have another look at the before. And now here's the after.